What up, world? Welcome now to another episode of the Ocho, presented to you in partnership, as always, with SB Nation's bloggingtheboys.com. My name is RJ Ochoa. You know me, of course, from BTB and from right here as your humble host on the Ocho. It is Thursday, the third day, February 22nd, 2024. We hope all is well wherever you are. We hope you're happy, safe, healthy. And I do want to say right away for the YouTube audience that I know that was a very different introduction than you have grown accustomed to. This is the time of year where we have to have conversations that are important, that we believe everyone needs to hear. And in the interest of time, this is a classic 2-for-1. You can listen to this conversation on the Blog of the Boys podcast network on the Ocho, my standard podcast that comes out every Thursday. We have lots of great shows that come out across the podcast network all throughout the week. And of course, you can watch this on the Blog of the Boys YouTube channel. We've titled it The Ocho there for you as well. Wherever you consume Blog of the Boys content, obviously, please make sure to subscribe to the Blog of the Boys YouTube channel or podcast network, et cetera, et cetera. If you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads, you can do so at RJ Ochoa. Full disclosure, I'm recording this on Wednesday, February 21st, but this is launching, obviously, on Thursday, February 22nd. And I mentioned that it is a conversation that we needed to have with sort of every sector of our audience throughout the Blog of the Boys universe, and it is the Dak Prescott conversation. Now, we have had this conversation many times, and we will continue to have this conversation many times. But nevertheless, we find ourselves here this week having this conversation. Now, actually, before we go one step further, I do want to say, if you are watching this, it might seem a little bit different, or my eyes might be in a different place. I got a new work computer, and so I'm still adjusting to things. So if it feels just the teeniest bit different, that's what's going on. But anyway, so this kind of all started when Jordan Schultz, friend of Blog of the Boys, did a BR live stream and spoke about Dak Prescott, the situation, et cetera, et cetera. Here is the clip from that. You can access this in the BR app. I do live streams myself there from time to time. Here's Jordan Schultz talking about the Dak Prescott situation. Let's hit play right now.
Dak Prescott really had the best season of his career. But you also have Dallas, who still has to pay CeeDee Lamb. They still have to pay Micah Parsons. And obviously, they're going to have to pay Dak Prescott. Now, I've been on the record. I believe Dak Prescott is going to command somewhere along the lines of $60 million per year, potentially making him the highest paid quarterback in football and resetting his quarterback market. He played that well. And really, for most of the season, especially that back half of the year, Dak Prescott was the MVP favorite or in that conversation, and obviously finished inside the top 5. So he really was there throughout, okay? And then you also have the fact that, again, if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you push CeeDee Lamb down this year, so you really have to pay him. You could wait to pay Micah Parsons because he's now extension eligible for the first time. This was his 3rd season. So there's a lot of moving parts. But I believe, considering how well Dak played for Dallas this year, considering the alternatives and the fact that Jerry Jones really wants to win now, doesn't want to have to start over at quarterback, and has a tremendous amount of respect for Dak Prescott, I believe that Dak Prescott is going to reset the quarterback market and get in the vicinity of $60 million this offseason.
All right. Thanks to BR and Jordan Schultz for that audio. Let's get this out of here so I don't accidentally tear down the computer operation that we have going on. So people hear something like that and they freak out. That is just kind of the way that this tends to happen in the NFL, in sports discussions, right? As people hear $60 million, Dak sucks, Dak this, Dak that, can't win with him, can't perform in the playoffs, whatever. We've all heard it a million different times. And we've tried to explain how Dak Prescott holds all of the leverage in this particular situation. I think Jordan did a great job, obviously, there. In case you somehow are now, in this moment, unaware, Dak has a no-tag clause, a no-trade clause. This is effectively, it's not even effectively, it's the final literal year of his contract with the Cowboys. He is set to hit free agency next offseason. He finished 2nd in MVP voting. You may think he sucks. You may think he's awful. You may think he's terrible, blah, blah, blah. That isn't born out of reality. If we take a look at any level of advanced measurement, any level of advanced statistics. We're looking here at RBSDM. This is quarterback efficiency. I mean, look at what is on your screen, YouTube audience. Obviously, the podcast audience can't see this. Dak Prescott finished second in EPA and CPAOE, completion percentage over expectation composite, across the season, trailing only Brock Purdy, ahead of Josh Allen. EPA per play, same thing. I mean, just CPAOE straight up, not as great. Obviously, it's a little bit of a different thing, but I mean, Dak Prescott was phenomenal this season. Adjusted EPA per play, second in the NFL. You can think he's bad. You can say all of the things that people like to say very loudly. The reality is he is not as bad as you are making this out to be. In fact, the reality is that he is much better than you are willing to give him credit for. And the reality of the market is that it is at a place where a quarterback is about to make $60 million per year. This is over the cap right now. Once again, for the YouTube audience, I'll tell it to you if you're listening to the podcast. Right now, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, and we've sorted this by average per year, APY, average annual value. Again, you can call it whatever you want. Joe Burrow is making $55 million a year. That's not his cap hit, but that is how much money he's making per year. Dak Prescott's cap hit this year is just south of $60 million. Justin Herbert, 52.5. Lamar Jackson, 52. Jalen Hurts, 51. What do those top four contracts have in common? Anybody in the class? Bueller. Those top four contracts, Jalen Hurts at 51, Lamar at 52, Justin Herbert at 52.5, Joe Burrow at 55. All four of those were brokered last offseason. Before last offseason, not a single quarterback had hit $50 million as far as annual average value. And now four of them are there. And Dak Prescott's likely going to be there if and when he gets an extension with the Dallas Cowboys. And you might laugh at this, but Kirk Cousins is likely going to be there if and when he gets a deal with whoever. I mean, it's not even an if, it's a when thing. Whether it's with the Vikings or somebody else. I mean, that's a different discussion. I believe in Kirk, but not here to fight that fight today. If you look at it, everybody freaked out. I mean, lost their minds when Dak hit $40 million per year. If you are watching on the YouTube side of things, look all the way down at the bottom. Look all the way down. This is the way the game, I don't even want to say is played, but this is the way the game works. This is like me telling you, a shot beyond the arc is worth 3 points. The next guy up gets a little bit more than the last. The laws of supply and demand, if you've bought a house, if you've bought a car, if you've bought a new computer, if you've bought whatever, it is generally a little bit more expensive than the last one. It is generally a reflection of the market. It is generally a reflection of a supply and demand business. This is a supply and demand business. I'm not an economist. I'm not a business major. I'm not anybody who understands deep level financial things. And I can wrap my brain around this. Once again, Jalen Hurts got paid. He got $51 million per year. Lamar Jackson was next. What did he get? A little bit more than that, $52 million per year. Justin Herbert was next. What did he get? A little bit more than that, $52.5 million per year. Joe Burrow happened at the 11th hour during the regular season opener. I don't know if you remember that, when the Chiefs were hosting the Lions. What did he get? A little bit more than that at $55 million per year. But Joe Burrow's been to a Super Bowl. I know. Had Justin Herbert been at the time? Has Lamar Jackson been? Has Jalen Hurts been? That's a bad example. Jalen Hurts obviously had been. But, had Kyler Murray been? If you're watching, if you're looking at the list, had Deshaun Watson? Had Josh Allen? Had Daniel Jones? No. None of those players have or had, even at the time, when they, except for Jalen Hurts, gotten there, and obviously Patrick Mahomes and Russell Wilson, had been to a Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts didn't even win it. And nevertheless, they got this deal because of the laws of supply and demand. So people are going to see, it's not even gonna, people are seeing the number, the $60 million. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. This is crazy. Dak's not worth $60 million. This is the going rate, man. This is just the going rate. It isn't about the number. You got to let go of this. You have to let go of the hold that this has on your brain, to where you believe this is this irrecoverable thing that the Dallas Cowboys cannot do. And when you do, you can recognize that it is simply a pass-fail, yes or no proposition. Is he a franchise quarterback? Yes. Again, even for the people who think silly things about Dak Prescott, he is undeniably a franchise quarterback. He's undeniably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. He's better than most of the dudes who are looking at on this list. Is he better than Patrick Mahomes? No. Is he better than Joe Burrow? I would say no. Is he better than Justin Herbert? That's definitely a point of discussion. He had a much more impressive statistical season than Lamar Jackson, despite the fact that he lost the MVP to him. But anybody else here is fair game to say that Dak is better than. I know some people would take Josh Allen over him, but the point is, when it comes to this discussion, when it comes to paying your quarterback, when it comes to giving them a franchise quarterback deal, which is just a little bit more than the last guy got, Dak Prescott checks the box. And the box right now just happens to read $60 million per year. Might not even be 60. I mean, Jordan's words were in the neighborhood, in the vicinity, in the general direction of, could wind up being 55.5, 56, 57, but it is in all likelihood going to be more than that. And that is something that we have discussed now for years. We have explained this phenomenon for years. We had these same discussions, these same debates. Everybody screamed and typed in caps lock the same things before 3 years ago when Dak Prescott got $40 million per year, and people in the same way still did not learn the lesson. This is the game. This is how this happens. And Dak Prescott, who finished second in MVP voting, that wasn't on the screen. We looked at EPA per play and all sorts of other things. I understand that the Dallas Cowboys underwhelmed and underdelivered and upset us all, and we're really mad about all that. And we really are disappointed, and we really wish that they had won the Super Bowl. I get that more and just as much, maybe not more. I get that just as much as any of you, okay? We don't have to have a rash overreaction, all right? Dak Prescott is barely 30 years old. He still has an enormous amount of time and great football left in the future of his career. We do not have to do or say or act in the spirit of silly things. So when you see the $60 million thing, when all that happens, you don't have to totally freak out. We can take a breath and we can remember that this is actually kind of pretty normal, pretty par for the course. And because of who Dak Prescott is and because of the team he plays for, that unfortunately won't be the case. But we have conversations like this so that if and when this ultimately does wind up happening, we are all prepared and we are all ready for the firestorm that is likely going to unfold in front of us, which is just kind of what comes to the dinner around here. Before I leave, I do want to show the video audience something, because this was kind of a negative video and this was a cool thing that I discovered on my new computer. If you're watching, look at this. I think it'll work. Look at that. How cool. I discovered this, the podcast audience can't see, but some fireworks went off around my head because I put 2 thumbs in the air. So if you're still mad after that, I don't know what to do for you, my friend. We're just trying to lay out the facts as they lie. Here we go. Yeah. And appropriate on a here we go. It's very, very, very likely that Dak Prescott's going to get paid by the Dallas Cowboys. That's number one. It's very, very, very likely that Dak Prescott is going to become the highest paid player in NFL history by the Dallas Cowboys. That's number 2. And it's very likely, I won't go as far as the others, as saying that it is going to happen sooner than we all think, because the Dallas Cowboys are currently, in a bookkeeping sense, in the red when it comes to their salary cap. They need to alleviate salary cap space ahead of free agency that begins less than a month from now. They need that space to go all in, as Jerry Jones, sort of promised that they would. So they have to do something, and they have to do it very quickly. And so buckle up, get ready, make sure you're prepared. That's how we do these things. That's how we have these conversations. That's how we make these videos and these podcasts, so you can know all of the details associated with the situation. And so that when it happens, we're all ready. We're all prepared. Send it to a friend. You know what I mean? That's just kind of the way this all goes. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe here to the Blog on the Boys YouTube channel or to the Blog on the Boys podcast network. If you were listening to this, we are available on all major podcast platforms. If you're a podcast listener, make sure that you also leave a rating and write a review. Those things really, really, really help. We really appreciate those of you who take the time to do so. It's going to be a contentious subject for a little while, but we're going to make it through. All right. We're going to make it through. We're going to power through together. We can do this. I believe in us as one football and Dallas Cowboys loving society and community. We can make it through all of this, and we can come out on the other side, and it can all be okay. And we don't have to freak out and scream at anybody, right? That's possible. So shout out to all of you. Shout out to my new computer and the fireworks one more time. Oh, that was new. Okay, there we go. Right on. Consider yourself educated on the Dak Prescott situation, and don't fall for the number. Don't let the number be the only thing that you see. All right. Boom. My name is RJ Ochoa. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or Threads at RJ Ochoa, on TikTok at RJ.Ochoa, if that is more your cup of tea. If you want to send me an email, you can do so, rj.ochoa@sbnation.com, or you can leave a comment down below, and I will do my very, very best to get to those as well. In case I don't see you, hear from you, see you on the internet, whatever, I hope you have a wonderful weekend, the greatest day of all time. You know why? Because you deserve it. We will see you mañana, my friends. As always, go Cowboys. Peace out.